Episode 37, the Instagram Show. Today we're talking about my favorite social media platform, Instagram, and how you can use it to promote your podcast and online business. Well, you are listening to episode number 37 of Mike Murphy Unplugged. Learn, create, move forward. I am your host, Mike Murphy. I'm a one-man band. I'm a technology junkie. I love helping people figure things out, and I am really excited to be here with you today. The goal of Mike Murphy Unplugged is to help you learn what you need to know in order to create online content so you can move forward in business and in life. And in this episode number 37, let's explore my favorite social media app, Instagram. What is Instagram? How do I use it? How can you use it to promote your podcast? But first, as always, let's start the show with a question of the week from Ask Mike Anything. And for those of you just tuning into the show for the first time, Ask Mike Anything, it's your chance to ask me, what do you want to know more about, or where are you struggling in your online business? Head on over to mikemurphy.co. Leave me a question, and I will answer it in a future episode. Today's Ask Mike Anything came via email from Vivian Carrasco of the Turning Inward podcast. Vivian asks, what is the difference between all the voice apps like Anchor, Clammr, and which ones do you like? All of the apps that Vivian is asking about are social media apps with audio as the main emphasis. Anchor is a social media platform all around audio that came on like gangbusters, but not sure how active the community is anymore. The way it works is that you record a 2-minute question or comment and people chime in like a conversation going back and forth. It is a great way to build a community and establish your authority. I thought it was good when it came out, but I kind of lost my enthusiasm for it. Clammr, a great app that I do like a lot. It allows you to record 24-second audio snippets from your favorite podcast or any other audio source and share it on social media. Clammr I think of as Twitter for audio. I'm using it less than I used to and that I want to use it for, but I do think it's a great tool to share good snippets or quote a podcast that you thought was good in some way. The same way you would tweet out an article, you can use audio. Fan of Clammr. I'm also a big fan of the Adobe mobile apps, and Adobe Voice is new and pretty awesome, and one that I would definitely recommend for podcasters who are looking for a unique way to promote their show. There is no shortage of audio apps surfacing, but Clammr and Adobe Voice are the two that I would recommend if you are looking for a unique marketing approach to promoting your podcast. Thanks again, Vivian, for this week's Ask Mike Anything, and hope that helped. Now, let's jump into episode 37, the Instagram Show. What is Instagram? Why and how do I use it? And how can you use it to promote your podcast and brand? What exactly is Instagram? It started in 2010. It's a photo and video social media site for iOS and Android phones with over 400 million active users. Instagram was bought by Facebook for a cool $1 billion in 2012, which Facebook probably realized was a bargain. You can view Instagram on your computer, but all of the uploading and use is on a smartphone only. In its simplest definition, Instagram is a giant gallery of photos and videos where people comment, engage, and share photos on other platforms. Along with Pinterest, Instagram is all about the visual. But you don't need to be a photographer or a designer to be effective in Instagram, although creatives do thrive on it. Like everywhere else, you just have to be you. 29% of the U.S. population over 12 uses Instagram. More than 80 million photos are uploaded daily, with 3.5 billion likes on those photos per day, which is how you give a thumbs up to photos you enjoy on Instagram. In the early days, Instagram became known for the square photos with retro looks and post-processing styles that have become known as the Instagram look. Instagram has evolved, and in 2015, they decided users could upload photos in any aspect ratio, no more square only, and the big news in 2016 was the introduction of 1-minute video clips, which made big brands and little ones happy, as the marketing and promotion value just got a huge bump. Instagram is a major player in social media, and big brands love it. So let me start by sharing why I use Instagram. Then I will go into a little bit of how I use it, and I'll end with strategies that podcasters and online creators can use to promote the podcast and brand. Why do I use Instagram? Well, I have worked in the photography industry for the past 8+ years, and photography has been a primary hobby of mine for as long as I can remember. Although I was not an early adapter, Instagram quickly became my go-to social media tool. I love it. Not only is it a great place to practice and stretch my creativity, but it is a very effective marketing and branding tool, so it makes sense for me, and I think most creative entrepreneurs and podcasters can do really well on Instagram. Warning, personal moment coming up. About the time I launched my podcast, I also made a daily Instagram goal of creating and uploading one photo per day. So every day for the past 8+ months, I have uploaded at least one photo to Instagram. Why do I have this Instagram goal? Well, my tagline, learn, create, move forward. To me, that means doing whatever it takes to be the best I can be, or the best you can be at your hobby, craft, business. And that comes in the form of showing up, doing the work, and hitting publish, or sharing your work or knowledge as often as you can, if not every day. Creating and publishing a photo on Instagram is challenging and takes commitment, and sometimes it's not a good feeling when I submit something that is subpar, but I do it day in and day out because I know it's making me better personally, creatively, and people are starting to appreciate my consistency, and my podcast and brand are getting noticed. Like they say, it takes years to become an overnight success, and I know these little goals and achievements serve a greater purpose, and that is why I push myself like this. My podcast and newsletter comes out at the same time every week. I show up every Monday night on time for Blab, and I publish every single day on Instagram, and people recognize my dependability, the hard work, and some even enjoy what I'm teaching and creating to boot. I am delivering value and someone people can count on, and that is how trust is formed. Trust comes from showing up and being reliable, and that is a key element to success for podcasters and online brands. If you listen to the same podcast every Tuesday on your morning commute, and one Tuesday they don't show up, you're going to be a little bit disappointed, don't you think? What happens if next week the host says, I've been really busy, sorry? Well, you start to lose trust in that person. It all matters, and none of it is easy. But if you are committed, you have to do it. Which leads me to Instagram for podcasters tip number 1. Be consistent with your posts, not only in regularity, but with the look, feel, style, and overall content. Look at any successful brand on Instagram, and the first thing you notice in almost every case is the consistency and familiarity visually. I take pictures of gear and equipment and things that related to what I teach because that is what my brand is about. If your podcast is about cooking, then it would make sense that your Instagram is heavy on food photos. Don't overthink what you post, but be intentional as best you can, because most Instagram users glance at a page, and if there's a visual consistency or vibe, they likely want to learn more. So how do I use it? I'm not going to go way into the technical workflow of how I do it, but I do use my big boy DSLR camera over my phone for the most part when I take the photos. I process all my photos in Adobe Lightroom and Adobe Photoshop, and when I'm done editing, I get them onto my phone using AirDrop from my Mac. I do have an AirDrop tutorial if you want a cool way to get stuff from your Mac to your phone wirelessly. That can be found on my YouTube channel. Photo tip number 1. Even though Instagram no longer limits you to square photos, I like the look and consistency, and it is more challenging. So I upload all my photos to Instagram in a 1:1 aspect ratio, otherwise known as a square, and the resolution that I use is 2048 pixels by 2048 pixels. Photo tip number 2, the dehaze filter in Lightroom and Camera Raw in Photoshop is one of my secret editing tips that I use on almost every image. Also a tutorial on that. That is the dehaze filter. Photo tip number 3, if you want to overlay text or quotes on your images, which I do very sparingly, as Instagram is all about the quotes on images, and many I'm just plain tired of. Look for any image of Leonardo DiCaprio or laptops on a tropical island and you'll know exactly what I mean. But 2 tools that I use and like, one is Adobe Post, another is an app called Over that has very nice typography designs, or just do it yourself in Photoshop if you have the chops. Also, for editing filters, or for editing photos, the in-app filters inside Instagram are actually pretty great, and I use those often. Part of my daily goal incorporates my done is better than perfect mindset. I try to create and edit images in under 15 minutes from camera to Instagram. This pushes me to be efficient and to get better. I know my self-inflicted goals and deadlines are weird to many, but this is how I stay disciplined, focused, and more productive, as the goal is to keep moving forward. Okay, next. Once my image is ready, it's time to create the post, and Instagram is all about the caption and hashtags. For every photo, I write a short little blurb. I try to be descriptive about the photo, the gear, whatever. I just inject my personality. No big deal, just be genuine. I also have a shortcut key using text replacement on my iPhone, where I simply type in hashtag, that's my key, and about 15 keywords appear magically. No typing. Yep, another tutorial on that if you need to see it on my YouTube channel. A big tip for podcasters. A major part of your Instagram strategy and promotion is using the right hashtags. Go to your competitors or podcasters you like or that are in your space and copy their keywords or see what they're using, and then create your own list that you can have on a regular basis. Finally, be social and engage. Admittedly, this is a place where I need the most work, but I am working on it. One thing that I do every time is that I respond to every comment, and I also go check out others who like my photos and regularly give them thanks or like some of their work. I will send private messages if someone is really active on my posts and I just want to go a little extra in my appreciation. I encourage you to explore Instagram using the hashtags and usernames and start liking and commenting and following people and watch your community grow. My goal isn't to build a massive following, but I do want to build a community of people that align with my podcast and business goals. Okay, let's wrap up today with a little recap and some actionable strategies podcasters and online business can start using to leverage Instagram to promote your podcast and your business. Number 1, post regularly. Be conscious of the look and feel of your postings and understand Instagram is the way to bring your brand to life visually. Number 2, use the right hashtags and use them often. Number 3, be social. Follow people, like photos and videos, leave comments. Number 4, use video. I'm working on a short podcast teaser and Instagram will be the first place that I upload it. Your video can be anything. Some people use their Snapchat clips on Instagram, or use apps like Boomerang and Hyperlapse, which, by the way, is one of my favorite iPhone apps, Hyperlapse. Number 5, post thumbnails for your new episode releases. This works really good as a strategy if you're an interview show because you can tag the guests and their audience involved in the promotion. Podcast Junkies does this really well. It's very effective. Number 6, Instagram is a great place to find guests for your show. Just like all other social platforms, start with a like and then a comment. Break the ice. Before you know it, you'll have a guest. Number 7, if you want to be a guest on the show, use the same technique as number 6. Just be you. Number 8, this is pretty obvious, but cross-promote your content on other social media channels. It's very easy to share your Instagram creations on your website or other social media channels. All about the reach. And number 9, while I do not have personal experience with this, a big marketing technique on Instagram is contests, and I think they would work really well for podcasts. Maybe you're a travel show or a lifestyle show. Have a contest for your audience to submit their favorite vacation photos using your show's name as a hashtag. You're promoting your show. Your audience is having fun. This is how you develop loyal fans. So have fun with Instagram, and as you can tell, I am a big fan. Instagram is a vibrant community for podcasters and is a great way to promote your show and brand. Get interview guests or get on other people's shows if that is your goal. I use it for personal growth and to build my brand awareness and network, and I can tell you that it is definitely helping my podcast and online business. And as always, I thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to this podcast, and I really do appreciate every one of you. If you have a question for me, head on over to MikeMurphy.co, send me a snap, leave me a message on Instagram. I'm also taking requests for tutorials, so if you have a tutorial that you would like me to make, hit me up, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I thank you for joining me today. I hope you join my one-man band, and together we can learn, create, and move forward. Cheers.